Okay. So we're going to start with sharing a video of some highlights of Kayla before she gets started. Wait, I got to make it full screen. Why won't it go full screen?
Can you see if Mark got logged out?
Yes. Anybody know why this won't go full screen?
Kelly, it looks like Mark is here.
Oh, he just got back in, I guess. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
There we go.
Caitlin, you're not sharing anymore. Okay.
Yep, yeah. I couldn't figure out how to make it full screen, but I think we got it now. Here we go. Nope, don't have it. I'm sorry, everyone. Is it okay if it's not full screen? I cannot figure out how to share it full screen.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kayla. Yay. So Kayla asked that I share my screen to walk through her presentation today so that she can keep an eye on all of your faces. And so I will be doing that, hopefully full screen, better than I did for the YouTube video. And we'll share that link with you so that you have it, family. It's right there in the chat. Okay, Kayla, are you ready?
Yes, you got my slide deck. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna try not to choke to death like I did at my YLab presentation, because apparently that's what happens when I get nervous. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to my Curation of Me. The reason I invited each of you here is because you've all had a significant impact on my life, but we'll get back to that part later. I just want this to be about the gratitude I have for the lessons I've learned over the past 3 years and how the relationships I have formed have shaped my experience to help me feel complete. You can switch to slide, Caitlin. Okay, so walking through One Stone's front doors on September 4th, 2018 completely changed my life. It felt like it marked my new beginning, and I knew that this is what I needed to fix my broken spirit. Going into this 3-year-long experience, I had no idea what was coming. I expected it to be easy, and let me tell you, it most definitely has not been. I had to overcome many obstacles and spend time with myself to better understand who I am and what I want out of this long life ahead of me. And sorry, I'm already crying. It's like, I'm gonna try so hard not to cry, but obviously you all know that I'm super emotional, like 24/7. Okay. So yeah, I had to overcome many obstacles and spend time with myself to better understand who I am and what I want out of life. And as I started to reflect on the past few years, the first thing that came to mind was the person I was 3 years ago. Oh my God, Kayla, get it together. Okay. Thank you. I felt incomplete, confused, a little bit lost, and felt more isolated than ever. I craved depth, meaning, and connection in my life, and through One Stone, that's exactly what I found. Let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about like the challenges that I faced, big and small, and how I grew from them and how they equipped me with the knowledge I needed in order to better understand myself and the world around me. So when I first came to One Stone, I was so excited for change. And then I encountered some obstacles, and it was super scary. So it started out with grasping this new version of learning. I'd gotten so used to traditional learning styles and the way I was being taught at my previous school. So it was really frightening coming into this brand new experience with no friends, and I just wasn't used to actively contributing and participating in super engaging ways. And so when I was being asked to at One Stone, it made me super uncomfortable. I'd never really understood that my voice and what I share is valuable and that my coaches and peers actually wanted to hear it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. Okay. I guess this is better than choking. Okay, yeah, so I had never felt so smart or appreciated before in my life in an educational setting or really any setting until I came to One Stone. I had always felt so insecure and nervous to raise my hand. Oh my God, okay. Or share it out at my previous school because there was always fear of judgment. Okay. Okay. Whew, sorry about this. So one of the next hurdles was design thinking. So my first design lab project was with the Idaho Suicide Prevention Hotline. And it was super challenging to work on my first ever long-term project, like right as I was approaching this already really scary new chapter of my life. And then they started asking me to do things like schedule interviews and go through the design thinking process. So that was really interesting to say the least. And it was hard to kind of gain confidence in my ability to try new things and gain new skills. So that was one part of that. And then just learning how to communicate professionally and set up interviews. And understand that adults want to hear me speak and the questions that I have are great ones. So yeah, that was super hard. And also just understanding that collaboration is going to be a key part of this experience was super scary to me because I'm sure all of you know that I'm kind of a control freak in a lot of ways. So kind of letting go and accepting that I'm going to have to be a team player and figure out how to navigate all these different and new types of relationships in my life, especially with these new peers. And yeah, so that was one obstacle when coming to One Stone. And then I would say that the next big one was the blob. So that's One Stone's bold learning objectives. There's 4 quadrants: mindset, creativity, skills, and knowledge. And then right in the middle, there's voice. And then in each of those quadrants, there's different attributes and skills that we're working to obtain throughout our One Stone experience. So looking at this was so scary to me because I was reading all of these different terms and characteristics that make up this whole and complete person. And that's who I would be at the end of this. So it was really frightening because I felt that I didn't really resonate with a lot of the things on there because I just didn't see it reflected in who I was. So it was kind of scary knowing that this was going to be a really holistic approach to developing like who I am, not just as a student, but as a person. So yeah, that was a big one, I would say. And then no grades. This really scared the shit out of me because I didn't know how to categorize myself without this number or letter telling me where I was at. And that ties back to the blob, of course, but just knowing that people are going to be looking at me from all of these different angles and perspectives, it really left me feeling pretty vulnerable and bare. So that was definitely a huge obstacle for me in the beginning. And yeah, so you can switch to the next slide, Caitlin. Oh, I guess I didn't tell you to switch before. Switch one more time. Okay, yeah, so for the rest of this presentation, I was kind of inspired by one of the other One Stone board members named Shannon. She talks a lot about turning her adversity into her advantages, and kind of has helped develop this understanding of like cracks, gaps, and gorges. So I'm going to start out with talking a little bit about the cracks in these past 3 years, the kind of don't sweat it things, but it did leave an impact on me and kind of change my overall perspective. So the first one I think was making new friends. I was feeling like I didn't connect with a lot of the people I was surrounded by, and it felt easier to just kind of float around rather than really putting myself out there and being vulnerable with new people, especially because I just had this set group of friends coming into One Stone that kind of held me back from reaching out and trying to establish connections right off the bat. I think another crack was just this idea of adaptability. I think that kind of comes with the challenge of being a control freak. I really like to have structure and know what I'm getting myself into, but with One Stone, I had no idea. I thought I did, but oh, I was wrong. So just kind of figuring out how to be okay with going with the flow and not always knowing everything, and like being okay with letting go of control every once in a while. Things like schedules were always changing. One month we'd be doing 20 things at once, and other months I'd spend 4 whole weeks focusing on one thing at a time. But I think overall this was super valuable, but also a huge challenge for me. It helped me to become better at managing my time and also figuring out how to be more adaptable based on my surroundings. So I think that was a great lesson to learn right off the bat. Next was kind of like the challenging content in each of my once known as courses, but now known as immersions. And like just developing like an ability to try new things and step out of my comfort zone in this academic setting. Something like I mentioned before, I just wasn't used to. It was never about like being passionate about what I was trying to learn, and I just didn't really have like this creative scope before coming to One Stone, so that was a huge challenge for me. And then the next was the McCall trip, my first year. This is one of my first One Stone experiences, but it was so uncomfortable and frightening. I remember just like, oh my God, why are they making us do this? I really don't want to go. Like, I have no friends. Just like, it was hard feeling like I didn't know who I could be around. I struggled a lot with insecurities and just didn't know how to be vulnerable and share about who I was and kind of what had led me to this place. Um, and then later on that trip, we did 1 minute life stories. And I remember by the time it was my turn, I couldn't speak because I just could not stop crying. So I guess my emotional side did come out in a small way that night. Yeah, it was really hard because I was just so overwhelmed by how much these people cared for one another and how much I knew they would end up caring for me. But by the next year's trip, I was sharing my story and my struggles and felt like a completely different person than the year before. I just remember feeling so nurtured and cared for as I opened up and allowed myself to truly experience One Stone's magic. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, let's see if this will work. Yeah, so now I'm going to be talking about the gaps. These are some of the more, I don't know, big challenges, things that took a little bit more time to understand what the lesson I was being taught in that experience was. So yeah, Disruption Day 2018. So this was the fall of my first year. I was asked to have an additional speaking part at Disruption Day, where the design lab groups shared the work they'd been working on for the past 12 weeks. So this was that first project I'd mentioned. I just felt so scared and out of place, and I felt really sick about being asked to do an additional part. I was like, you're asking enough already, having me stand in front of these people and put all my work on the line. Yeah, so I was feeling not so good because I had never ever been good at speaking in front of folks. Most of the times I remember speaking or giving presentations at my previous school, I would either turn bright red or have tears in my eyes just waiting to flow. But obviously now that's choking and gasping for air while I'm presenting my YLab projects. So yeah, I decided to just go with it and really push myself and accept that like I was going to be asked to do hard things here, and that's just part of the gig. But I remember after the fact, I left the stage feeling so accomplished and like a new, changed, mature woman. And it sounds very silly, but I had never had someone think that I was like, I never felt that anyone, especially mentors or coaches, would ever think that I was capable of doing something like that. And yeah, I think having that be towards the beginning of my One Stone journey, it really allowed for me to make the most of my experience by jumping at these opportunities for growth. And even though sometimes it takes a little bit of a push to get me there, I think it really did help in the long run. So thank you to whoever asked me to do that. I think it might have been Celeste, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then another big gap was probably the one event in 2020. This was a super impactful experience that I had because, again, I was put in a super uncomfortable position, and I don't remember whose idea it was. It might have been Ashley this time, but I got sat with the Simplot table at this event, and I was the only student, and I was just remember being so angry because I was like, what the heck? All these other kids get to just sit in the back and enjoy, but the whole time I'm gonna be on the verge of tears because I'm so nervous. But yeah, it was super scary because I was having to facilitate a really like high level conversation. But I remember just leaving that table and I felt so empowered and like I could really take on any challenge that I faced. So thank you, Ashley, if that was you who trusted me to sit with them. I think I did a pretty good job. And yeah, and then another gap was pretty recently asking for help asking for help is something that I have a really hard time with. I think I just hold myself to a higher standard, and I'm like, no, you're not allowed to feel upset, or you're not allowed to feel like down. And you always have to just be on it 24/7. No one can see your weaknesses. But yeah, I think COVID has obviously been really challenging for a variety of reasons, and I don't even want to really have that be the focus of this point. But I think feeling a lack of community and just stressing out over the fact that I'm having all of these different life changes happen so fast, much sooner than I thought. Um, and yeah, I think for a while I was feeling like I was really drowning in work and also just my emotions. So I reached out to Michael Reagan um, and just was like, hey, I need some support right now. Um, I feel like I really miss you as one of my main mentors. So I reached out to him, which was a really hard thing for me to do. But yeah, thank you, Michael Reagan. He made time for me. And it meant a lot. And now I'm crying again. Oh God. um, yeah, I'm just gonna skip over that last one. You can switch the slide, Caitlin. Oh God. Okay, get it together. Okay, now for this one, I'm gonna be talking about the gorges. So these are like the big obstacles that have had like the largest impact on me and definitely taught me like the biggest lessons over the past 3 years. So I just need to compose myself a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about grief. Okay. Maybe I'm not as prepared for this as I thought I was. Sorry about that. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay, so my spring semester of my first year, I was experiencing loss and grief for pretty much the first time ever, and just kind of experiencing tragedy when I really was not expecting it. And I feel like it really just altered my perspective and changed the way I carried myself for a really long time. And I let the bad things consume my thoughts and felt like I was in a hole that I just couldn't get myself out of. And I felt like I really just did not know my place. And I felt a lot of resentment at this time towards people that I thought really cared about me because they just weren't checking in and they ended up not being the people in my life that I thought they were going to be. So this led to a really just overall difficult time. And I lost a lot of friendships outside of One Stone, which was super hard at the time, but now I'm like, better off without you. But yeah, so with all this being said, it was super hard and one of the most horrible experiences of my life, but I ended up learning a ton from it. And I think the turning point after this for me was during the summer. The spring term had just ended, and I think Caitlin reached out to my mom before reaching out to me. She invited me to go to Minnesota and attend a conference with Ashley, Chloe, and Genevieve. And I really did not want to go. Like, really did not want to go. I thought it would just be easier for me to stay home and stick with the schedule that I had. So yeah, I had really only been close with Chloe and Caitlin prior, but that did not last for long. This altered my confidence in a really huge way and had really picked me up after I'd fallen. I got really close with Ashley, and this is when I started my relationship with Genevieve, which thank God. Um, yeah, so I did this thing again where I accepted a really huge challenge, but it ended up being an extremely positive thing for me. Um, and I did something that I was afraid of and ended up being really, really good at it. And I ended up taking on many more of these opportunities to represent One Stone, represent. But yeah, this is what kind of made me fall in love with One Stone, and feel like I could start loving myself again too. Um, it didn't seem like it was going to be fun, just a school thing that I couldn't say no to, but it ended up being one of the most pivotal points in my life that many people don't know about or just didn't understand the depth of for me, and how it kind of changed my trajectory of my One Stone experience, and I think my life. So thank you, Caitlin. Really coming in clutch with the conferences. um, okay, and then I think another big gorge for me was this idea of start with why. And this might sound a little bit cheesy, so just brace yourself. But yeah, so this experience was during winter exploration of my second year in One Stone. We took the entire month of January to just really dig deep into ourselves and what we care about. And this experience was one of the most difficult ones I had at One Stone, because even though I felt like way more comfortable in my personality by this point, I still didn't really grasp a lot of my identity and the things that shape the person that I am. This includes exploration on my core values, my passions, hobbies, things that I'm curious about, things I'm good at, who I am and what I love to do, and what matters to me. And this experience was kind of shit for a while. The things I could come up with were leadership, honesty, communication, empathy, desire to grow, and always have high hopes for the future. Those were my main like values and the things I kept coming back to. Yeah, so I felt really isolated and alone in this experience for the longest time. And was just feeling scared and stressed about the fact that I really didn't feel like I was a super passionate person and didn't know if I could ever be good at something. The last time before this experience, I'd really felt like I identified with a hobby or just something aside from myself was my gymnastics when I was super young. And even then, it's like I really wasn't that good at it, but I just loved it. So yeah, this was really weird having to take time to think about these things. I was feeling like I had to come up with something to say so that I didn't look like a failure. And I just really did not enjoy the pressure to look inside and spend time thinking critically about the things that have a lot of depth and meaning in reality. But as we approached the end of the experience, we were asked to share our why statements and a few minutes on what the past few weeks had been like for us. I was extremely honest, which felt very vulnerable. And again, I was feeling pretty bare. But it ended up like having a huge impact on me and was a super positive thing. So I was really glad that I stood up there and shared exactly how I was feeling. But yeah, in the end, it taught me so much about who I am and that it's okay to not know everything at 16. I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders once I stopped putting all this pressure on myself to be what I thought everyone around me was hoping for me to be. And this altered my experience of who I am in a huge way. And because of this, I can say that I really do understand myself better now. Um, and then another gorge was just the college application process. I'm sure most of you know how that was for me. And the other thing was overcoming the idea that One Stone is my whole identity. And I talked to Teresa a little bit about this. We were reflecting on our Y Labs, but yeah, so the college application process was a big deal for me because it really just did not feel real, and it felt like I'd just been building it up for so long that it was crazy that it actually was here. I was pushed to confront these fears I had about my future and had to really think critically about what I wanted. And this is really weird because I felt like I'd never really made a decision this big that was purely based on me and what I wanted and what I needed, because I had just gotten so caught up on in doing everything that I thought everyone else wanted me to do. So coming up with that list of colleges was a big deal because that was all me. So yeah, picturing myself in a new place, studying what I wanted all on my own was super frightening. But it feels so good now to know where I'm going to be in the fall, and that all of that hard work during those brutal few months was worth it. Thanks, Lisa. Bless up. You're a queen. Um, let's see here. And yeah, so the other major obstacle that I mentioned was just having to face over the past few months this idea that like I have to really overcome the idea that my whole identity is wrapped up in one stone, and that after I leave I won't know who I am. And it might seem silly, but this has been one of the truest feelings I've ever had. Since these past 3 years have just been such a huge part of all the great things I've done and all of the self-discovery work I've been a part of. It was and still is super challenging to picture myself without this security and community that I have here at One Stone. But with all of that in mind, and after a great deal of reflection, I have identified that even though it's because of One Stone that many of my experiences were made possible, it was still me that made the effort to grow as an individual. And One Stone will always be a part of me, but it's not who I am. So that's definitely a weird thing to be grappling with right now. Okay, switch the slide, please. Pretty please. Okay. Okay. This might get a little bit emotional. Okay. But yeah, now I'm going to be talking about the people at One Stone and the people in my life over the past 3 years that oh God, have just really given me the tools I needed in order to feel like whole and feel like myself. And they've taught me such valuable lessons. So let's get into that. Oh God, grab a box of tissues maybe, I don't know. Okay, Caitlin. Also this list that I'm looking at, it's like I was writing it at some point where I was feeling pretty delusional, so I just have a bunch of different things on there, so it might get a little confusing at times, but bear with me. Caitlin, I wrote down that you've taught me so much about tenderness and oh God, respect and confidence, reflection, and friendship. I feel like you were the first friend I made at One Stone. Oh gosh, I'm getting really emotional. Oh God. Okay. And yeah, you just taught me so much about the importance of just really challenging myself, and it's like the hard things that are gonna make you better in the end. So I thank you for that. I look up to you so much. And next is Ashley. You are just so sincere all the time, and I remember being so afraid of you before our trip to Minnesota. And I was like, oh my god, she's gonna hate me, I just want to impress her. But you are truly just like one of the most sincere and warm and generous people that I know. And your drive is just so admirable, and I look up to you for so many reasons, but those are the things that really stick out to me. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Okay, Teresa, T-pop. Same thing goes to you. I remember being so afraid to come knocking on your door, but I remember how jealous I was of everyone that would sit in your office and talk to you, and they'd be like, oh my god, just go into Teresa's office and get candy, she doesn't care, she loves you. And I was like, oh girl, you'll never catch me walking in there and grabbing a piece of candy. Like that's not me. But dang, I'm not afraid of you anymore, and thank goodness for that. You have this devotion that I look up to so much. Like, you were one of the most like strong and powerful women I've ever met. And your understanding, patience, and passion just have really, really taught me a lot about who I want to be in my life. And you just have like the best heart. Like, you are just so genuine and kind. And a few days ago, when you told me that there was a point in your life when you never wanted kids, never wanted to work with kids, I was like, oh, dang. Like, thank God that changed, because you have truly given me like the greatest blessing in my life. So thank you. Whew. Okay. Michael Reagan. The things I wrote here were a listener. That is very true. You are one of the greatest listeners. You are always willing to just set everything aside to be a good friend and just really, really take care of your pack. So thank you for that. I know I can always count on you. And I wish people understood how truly tender you are at your core. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Michael Reagan is scary. And that used to be me. But no, you are like the kindest, most thoughtful, and deep person ever. And I appreciate that so much about you. Our relationship, I feel like, is just really one of quality. And I owe that to you. You really made it that way. And you just are so trustworthy. And I always know that you're in my corner. So thank you. Next is Allison Parker. Allison Parker, I think, was the first person to really show me around One Stone when I was on my little crutches. She just really opened my eyes to this whole new opportunity, and I thank you, Allison, so much for that. You're always so intentional and present and understanding and consistent in my life, and that's something I never really knew I needed. So thank you for that. Celeste isn't here, I don't think, but the things I wrote for her were ambition, confidence, devotion, and authenticity. These are all the things that she has brought into my life by just being her best and most authentic version of herself. And it's something that I really look up to. I hope to be that badass and confident when I'm grown up. So thank you, Celeste, for always showing your true colors. I really, really appreciate it. And then John Brassey. I don't know if he's here or not, but I give John a really hard time, and I think I have ever since my first semester in stats. So I wrote down humor, helpful, and genuine. I can always count on John for a really good laugh, and I know that I can always go to him when I need help understanding math problems or better understanding myself. So thank you, John. And then I briefly saw that chat. I'm just going to run through the rest of the list as fast as I can. Genevieve, you are, oh God, please don't cry. I wrote trust, friendship, resilience, and love. And I'm sure that I could talk about this for a really long time. But yeah, you have been like a rock in my life. So thank you for that. Okay. Elliot, you bring in fun and excitement into my life. You've been such a great friend to me, and I know that I give you hell sometimes, but you do you do mean a lot to me. And then JD, you've taught me so much about just servantship. That's something that you bring up a lot. You always put others before yourself, and it's something that I hold close to my heart. And I hope that I can be a person like that for you. You've taught me a lot about empathy. So thank you. Idris, kindness and honesty are the things I wrote for you. Yeah, you're just such a great friend, and you have the sweetest heart, and I'm so glad that I could share this experience with you over the past couple of years. I know this is a long list. I'm going to try and get through it. Bo, you bring effortless connection and laughter into my life, and you really help me to not take myself too seriously. And that's something I really need at times. You really help ground me and remember that it's okay to just have pure fun and not worry about all these big things going on. Mom. Okay. I wrote strength, grit, compassion, and comfort. Oh God, I can't even do this one. I might just have to tell you later. Yeah, you're the strongest person I've ever met, and I'm so grateful to have you as my mom and my friend and my greatest role model. Thank you. Dad, dad number 1 or dad number 2, I don't really know. Let's see, I wrote humility, selflessness, and gratitude. I could also put hardworking on there because you really do all of those things so well. You are just like the most down to earth and grounded person that I know. You do everything for everyone else and never ask for anything in return. And I really, really look up to that. So thank you. And then I guess father. I wrote hard work, grit, failing forward, adversity into advantages, and strength. You are just so hardworking, and you've turned all of these huge hardships into something beautiful. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you. And it's really meant a lot to me, just being able to really grow closer over the past 3 years and just, I don't know, just develop our relationship and have that become even stronger. And then my last one, I don't know if Kai is still here. I hope not, because this is just over the top. I wrote down love, pure joy, and then vulnerability. I feel like Kai has really just opened me up to this whole new side of myself, and he just really grounds me wherever I go. And he's definitely like just the greatest love that I've ever known. And he's the best friend. So thank you, Kai, for all of those things. So yeah, this brings me to the end. If you can switch the slide, Caitlin. So there's that little there's that little Kayla bubble. um, and that blue just represents the past 3 years in one stone. I feel like this experience has really just equipped me with all of the skills that I needed and the relationships that I needed in order to really feel complete. I was the same person at my core, but I really was missing some really key components in order to feel comfortable in my skin and to truly feel like this person that you see now. So I thank One Stone and all of you for being here and being part of this journey. And thanks for bearing with all the tears. I know this hasn't been easy for many of the people in my life. So I just wanted to say thank you for supporting me. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Now you can shower me with love.
Thank you, Kayla. That was lovely. Um, I have a whole thing written, but I know that I will get to tell you those things. And so wanted to open the floor to anyone else or family to give Kayla some love.
Morgan,
I
love
will.
you. She gets her tearfulness from me. So, but I did write her a card because I didn't think I'd be able to get through it. So, but I just want to tell you that I'm so proud of you and all the obstacles that you have overcome. You shock me and amaze me every day. I'm so proud to be your mom. And I love you so much and feel so grateful to have been on this journey with you and grow up with you. I love you so dearly.
I love you too.
I will go. Kayla. So when Genevieve became part of our family, one of the huge blessings was that you became part of our family too. And I just love you. You have brought, whenever you're at our house, you bring so much warmth and joy. And that's something you bring with you wherever you go. And I have more things I want to say to you, but I just want to say thank you for everything you've brought to us, and that I love you and you'll always be part of our family. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am for your friendship and for the last 3 years with you.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Since we're unmuted here, Kayla, I could talk for hours, but listening to you talk here today and in every other instance over the past several years, you are One Stone to the core, and you speak about what we are. You speak about what we are and who we are and why we are better than any of us. Listening to you is such a joy. You are so fun. You are so smart. And I just want to say, I've never had a student come to me and say, I want more leadership opportunities. I want to lead. I've never had anyone in 5 years. I've never had anyone say, I want to lead. And that's exactly what you said to me 2 years ago. Like, I want more, give me it. And I think maybe sometimes you wish you hadn't some of those, but I love that. And it's so beautiful. And the other thing I have to say is that I've seen you reach out and be friends to the kids who needed friends more than anyone else. And it absolutely warms my heart when I saw you, this was years ago, giving kids hugs that needed hugs. And you changed their lives. And I want you to know that you changed their lives. And they are so much better because of you. And we are all so much better because of you. Thank you. We love you. Super proud of you.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Babe, we're all very proud of you. We love you. I will get a chance to talk to you soon, but I wanted to take this moment because we're very limited to say thank you to your One Stone family that surrounded you. I remember those years ago meeting One Stone that first time, and you, as with you do most things in your life, you sought it out. You knew it was a fit for you, but I wasn't convinced when we sat through that first meeting. I didn't know what these nuts were all about, and this things with no grades and all of this. Probably wouldn't have had my vote on day one, but as usual, your decision was very good. It was the right place for you. And I just want to say thank you to all of your One Stone family that surrounded you. Kayla is wonderful. She's strong. She would have been those things one way or the other, but you've really helped her grow into the young lady that we're so proud of. So thank you. And babe, we love you and we're proud of you.
Thank you, Dad. I love you.
Kayla, we knew we had the leader that we were looking for. Ashley and I were just talking about this. When we interviewed you and we asked you to pitch yourself and you said, well, can I stand up? And so you stood up and you gave us a pitch about you and why we should select you for One Stone. And there was never a doubt that we were gonna give you, let you come and be a part of this. And I'm just so incredibly proud of you. You've done so much in so little time and you've grown in so many ways. And I think a lot of us feel much more like you're our peer than a student at One Stone. And I also have a lot to say to you. As a matter of fact, I have notes and I'm just gonna have to write it because it would take me a long time, but I just want you to know, I know that One Stone is a big part of who you are, but you're the kind of person who is going to go out in the world and you're going to make every place a part of who you are because that's who you are. And we're really sad to lose you, but really happy to launch you into the world because we know, and I know that you're going to change the world. And I can't wait to see that happen. And you know that this is your family forever. And we will always be here for you for life. So I will write much more to you. But right now, I just want you to know how much I love you and how proud I am. Couldn't be more proud.
I love you. Thank you, Teresa.
Kayla's killer, man. I think Teresa stole my words. Like, I've never looked at you as anything more than a friend. And you, I love having just relationships with students that we can like cut to the chase. And I think that's what we were always able to do. I don't know why, but I just feel like we were just buddies. And I am grateful for your connection and your willingness to learn that ambiguity and go with the flow and embrace it for all of its worth. And I just love you so much and will miss you so much. Really excited to come visit you in Boulder. And I also have more words that now is not the time.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I love you.
Kayla. Okay, I got it. I just trip out every day that you're a part of me, and just having another lens to see through. You're just somebody that so much of who you are is who I want to be, and you're able to achieve that at such a young age. And just super excited to see what you're going to do in the future. And I love you.
I love you.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Kayla, oh my God. When I first started out at One Stone, I had lots of friends, but oh my God, I'm gonna cry, sorry. I'd never cry, okay. I had lots of friends, but you are by far the most meaningful person at One Stone to me. You just make me feel like such an important person, and like so loved, and you are kind of like what I look up to be when when I'm doing my last year at One Stone. Like, you just have done so much with your last year, and you're such a leader and such like a strong woman in my life. And no, I just like I look up to you so much, and I know you're gonna do so many great things in the future, and I know you're gonna we're gonna be lifelong friends, and I'm just so happy that I met you, and I love you.
My turn.
I love you so.
Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying I'm so mad that I didn't go to the bathroom before this because I missed part of it when you said my name, and I'm so sad. But I'll watch the recording. Anyways, I just wanted to say that I am so thankful to have you in my life and for our friendship, and I'm just so impressed with you, and I just want to okay, yeah, you're so kind and empathetic and open-hearted and bold, and you've taught me so much, and I value our friendship so much, and you are so loyal, and you are one of the most loyal friends I have, and thank you for always fighting for me and loving me, and I'm so thankful for you, and I'm so excited that you're going to Boulder, and I'm so excited for the future and what it has for you. And I'll tell you more, I just don't want to lose it on Zoom.
Thanks so much, Evie.
Kayla, we love you, and unfortunately we are over time by a minute, so we have to wrap, but I know I'll shower you with more love and cannot wait to celebrate you in a couple of weeks for an official graduation, and then have you stay part of our family forever, because you will not get rid of us. And we love you very much.
Thank you for everything. Thanks for being here. I love you all.
Hey, love you.
Bye.
Love you, Kayla.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye, Kayla.